In this video, I'm going to tell you why you need to stop listening to your mentors. Okay guys, what's going on, and welcome back to this video today. Thank you so much for watching. Now look, I want to make something very, very clear. I don't want you to completely stop listening to all of your mentors, right? I don't want you to completely stop listening to these multi-million-dollar successful businessmen and athletes and actors and things like that. But let me elaborate a little bit. So something you may notice in this business industry is that everyone is telling you that you should get a mentor. Now listen, getting a mentor for me, investing in programs, completely changed the course of my life. It is the best thing you can ever do. The best investment you can ever make is into yourself and into a mentor. There's so much advice out there that is just a huge contradiction, right? You have certain people like Gary Vaynerchuk worth 200 million that tell you to just hustle and hustle and hustle, and you know, he doesn't read books, he doesn't invest himself. He just does. He's super successful, right? He's motivated millions. And he is correct, you need to work hard. But then you've also got other people like Tim Ferriss who promote so heavily on the 4-hour work week, working smart, not necessarily working hard, minimum input, maximum output. Then you've also got people like Sam Ovens. Sam Ovens, genius, makes $1 million plus a month, right? Absolute genius, business guru. Everyone loves his content, he's a big inspiration for me. But Sam Ovens says you should only have one product and one business and focus on that. But then you've got someone like Grant Cardone, who is worth, I think he makes like 150 million a year. So he is also very, very successful in his own right, probably even more successful, way more successful than Sam Ovens. But Grant Cardone says you shouldn't just have one product, you should have a funnel full of products. Russell Brunson says you should have more than one product. So who's right, okay? Ty says invest into programs and mentors. Gary Vee says maybe you shouldn't, you should just work. Who is right? Who is right? Well, the truth is, everybody is right. Everybody is right because that is what worked for them. There is no one path to success. There is multiple paths to success. You just have to find what works for you, okay? What one person may say may resonate so well for you, but what someone else might say may not, okay? Gary Vee, hustle. That may work for some people. Getting up and just grinding 6 a.m. in the morning till 10 p.m. at night, just working. That works for so many people, okay? That works for so many people. But some people prefer the approach of living the life in Thailand, sipping a cocktail, working an hour a day, making 60 grand a month from their business that is completely automated. And it comes down to a couple things. The first thing is you really need to understand your why in business. You need to understand why you are doing everything that you're doing. Why have you started a company? Why do you want to make money? Because when you understand that why, and not just the why that your parents want you to do, not just the why that you think you should do, your true inner beliefs, right? What you really want to achieve in life. When you know that, you know what, for me, I don't want to own a 1,000-person employee company and take over the world. I actually just want to make good money so I can travel the world and spend time with my family. There is nothing wrong with that. But what the key point that I want you to take away from this video is that you don't have to listen to every single last thing every person says and take it as gospel just because they are successful. Because this whole business self-development industry is one big contradiction. Everybody is telling you different advice. But guess what? All of that advice is correct. 99% of it anyway is correct. Because as mentioned, what works for Grant Cardone? Having several products, being heavily sales focused, people cold calling on the phone all day, ringing, pick up the phone, close, having huge amounts of products, spending money, okay, investing into programs and real estate, and you know, not saving money. That's his approach, right? That is his approach, and that works. The guy's worth hundreds of millions and will probably become a billionaire at some point, and that is correct, okay? But then you also have other people out there who tell you that you should invest your money, you should put a certain amount back into savings. You know, it's one big contradiction. So again, it just comes down to your why. Why are you motivated? And also testing, right? Because if you know that you want to take over the world, okay, you want to have the biggest social media presence in the world, Gary Vee's advice of post content, and Grant Cardone's advice of content, just consistency with churning out as much content as possible and building your personal brand. Well, if you want to have a big social media presence and impact millions of people, well, that is solid advice. But then you've got Sam Ovens saying, Don't use social media. Don't look at those vanity metrics, and instead, you should just focus on building your company. Well, if you want to build a solid foundation and make a lot of money, well, guess what? Sam Ovens' advice is probably better for you. So you really need to understand what motivates you and take the advice from the people that resonates most with that for you, okay? And the second tip that I've got here to finish off this video is that you just need to test things and see what works for you. Every human being on this planet has a different makeup. We've got different DNA. And that means what works for one person may not work for somebody else. What motivates one person may not motivate somebody else. You know, not everybody on the planet likes the same food. Some people love pizza, some people hate pizza, you know. Some people are vegan, some people aren't vegan. It's simple as that. Not everybody is the same. So why on earth do you think this one bit of advice would work for everyone? It's just not true, okay? So you need to test. Let's say, you know, yourself, let's say you want to be productive. There's 1,000,001 productivity tips out there, you know? There's 1,000,001 different things you can do to increase your productivity. And trust me, I've tried bloody all of them, okay? I've tried all of these different productivity tips to be more focused, and, you know, work blocks and the Pomodoro technique. I've tried all of that stuff. And for me, I have found what works. I've tested all of them. All of them are great, but some of them didn't work for me. But some of them definitely did. So you need to see yourself as one big science experiment, and your life as one big science experiment. Just test different things, test different bits of advice. You know, if Sam Ovens says to focus on one product and one product only, and you start to focus on one product and one product only, but then you realize actually you're quite miserable because you're somebody that likes to have loads of things going on at the same time. You're very entrepreneurial and you like to have several businesses. Your goal is to have several businesses. Well, Sam Ovens' advice probably isn't relevant to you, okay? It works for him and it works for a lot of other people with business goals, but it might not work for you. But that's not to say 97% of Sam's other advice isn't super relevant and super helpful, because it is. So you just need to become a human sponge, a human test tube, and you just need to test different things. And, you know, the biggest takeaway for this is to understand your why and what motivates you, because if you look at Grant Cardone and you see the private jet and you see the huge office with all the salespeople, and that motivates you, and the really sales-focused approach, if that motivates you and that's what you aspire to be, you should probably take his advice over Ty's advice or Sam Ovens' advice. More so than, you know, anybody else's, you know. But if you look at Sam Ovens and you like the fact how he keeps his expenses low, he's really focused on building the best product and has one business and that's his whole mission, well, you should probably take more advice from him than you should from Russell Brunson, all right? But that's not to say 95% of the other stuff that Russell Brunson says isn't true. So the key takeaway home from this video, this is where I found a lot of success, is you want to become a human sponge. You want to learn as many different things from as many different mentors and just test them. And if it doesn't work for you, that doesn't mean that what you're doing is wrong. It just means that one bit of advice didn't perhaps work for you, and you need to try something out and keep testing until you find what does work. And then when you do find that what works for you and you double down on that, that's when you start to see that J curve of success and your business skyrocket through the roof. So if your true motivation is honestly just to make $2 grand a month and you want to sit at home and play video games all day, if that is what you want to do with your life, there ain't nothing wrong with that. If you want 18 hours a day to play Call of Duty, there is nothing wrong with that, as long as that's your mission, and when that happens, you're not complaining about having more money. If that's truly what you're motivated for, nothing can tell, and nobody can tell you otherwise, okay? So, hope you guys found some value in this video. Make sure when you're learning all of these different things, you know, you are testing them, and you don't have to agree with every single last thing that every single last person says. You don't have to agree with this if you don't want to. This is my opinion. I found this is what works for me, all right? So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you are new around here, and if you want to start a social media marketing agency, I do have a full A to Z training program that's going to be linked down below for you to check out and for you to fast track your success. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.